Hello traders, this is Nancy Novick and welcome to Trading for Freedom. Several of you have asked me to make a detailed video explaining my trading strategy. I am going to walk you step by step through my trading process. I hope this helps. Let's get started. I trade 0 DTE SPX options. DTE means days till expiration, and 0 means the options will expire at the end of the day. This makes it much like day trading. I generally trade at the money, which is the first purple bar on the option chain. I've tried in the money and out of the money, but I prefer at the money. $5,000 is usually how much I invest in a single trade, which is about 2 contracts. My goal is to make 25% above the purchase price. That is around $1,000. My stop loss is 25% less than the purchase price. I use Charles Schwab as my broker, Thinkorswim for my trading platform, TradingView for charting, and TradeZella to keep track of my trades. Sean Dekmar of Dekmar Trades offers an excellent library of educational videos. He is how I first found out about options. Thank you, Sean. The bedrock of my strategy is UT bot alerts. UT stands for uptrend. The UT bot alerts indicator uses advanced algorithms or instructions to identify key support and resistance levels. This code gives signals based upon the ATR trailing stop calculated with Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. As a trend analysis tool, it provides the general direction of where an equity is headed. I first found out about UT bot alerts in TradingView. However, when I tried to use them in Thinkorswim, they were nowhere to be found. So I put a video on my channel to show how to add UT bot alerts to Thinkorswim. It will take you to a website where you can copy the code and paste it into Thinkorswim. Here is what your screen should look like when you're done. Notice the calls are on the left side and the puts are on the right. To make sure your settings are the same as mine, click the Edit Studies button at the top. Then click Settings and make sure the key value is 1.0 and the ATR period is 10. The signals from Heikin-Ashi candles is no. This is because we are already using Heikin-Ashi candles in our chart. Show labels is yes. The price color is yes. And the alert sound on is yes. Another important component of my trading strategy is the Awesome Oscillator. The Awesome Oscillator, or AO, is a technical indicator created by Bill Williams in the 1970s. That is used to measure momentum. AO calculates the difference between 34 period and 5 period simple moving averages. The simple moving averages that are used are not calculated using closing price, but rather each bar's midpoints. The Awesome Oscillator is generally used to confirm trends and anticipate possible reversals. It is also what I use as a confirmation for my trades. Here is what the awesome oscillator should look like on your chart. Not only did this trade get 25%, but it got 114%. That would have been $5,680 in profits. My friends hate it when I say what something could have been, but it just goes to show that my strategy works. I used to try to keep my trading plan in my head, but the excitement of trading would make all the information fly out the window. So, I turned my trading plan into a checklist and keep it right in front of me. Feel free to make a copy of it. Let me go over it step by step with you. The first thing I do is I select call and put strike prices at the money at 9:32. The reason I do call and put strike prices next to each other on my screen is I like to see which one develops a good trade and a buy signal. And the only way I can do that is to look at them both at the same time. Okay, if there is a buy signal at 9:30, I wait for a pullback because the first 5 minutes of the trading day are so volatile, you really shouldn't do anything during that time. Then I check support and resistance lines, and I do this with an indicator called suppress indicator. If this is not on Thinkorswim, you could always go into ThinkScript, like I did with UT Bot Alerts, in order to find it. Then I start looking for a trade at 9:36. I use a 5-minute candle. And so the reason that I do this is at 9:36, we have a brand new candle. And so that's when I want to start looking for a trade. Then I trade only after a buy signal with a green candle. You can't have one and not the other. They both have to happen at the same time. Then I look to see that the awesome oscillator is also green. Then I place a sell limit $1,000 above the purchase price. And last, I set a stop at 25% below the purchase price. That way, if the trade goes against me, I'm protected. I often put a revised date on here to let me make sure that I have the most current version of this. Okay, let me clear this off. And like I said, feel free to make a copy of it. Let's put all this together and watch a real trade unfold. This particular trade took place on January 13. The very first thing that I do is I come over to the symbol table that's at the upper left-hand corner, and I click Options, and then I type in the box SPX. Press Enter. Okay, now I like to look at about 14 strike prices at a time. So here what I do is I go for the first purple bar on the left side, because that's the call side. Select it. I come over to the put side and I select the one that's directly opposite from that. So both of these say 69.75. Okay, and there you heard right now my buy signal. And this candle's at 9:30. So remember, at 9:30, if we have a buy signal, we just want to wait a little bit because the first 5 minutes of the market is very volatile, and it's not a good time to trade then. So I'm going to go to 936, and the buy signal has turned red. A lot of times that will happen. They'll go in and out from red and green. So you might have to wait a minute or so to make sure that it's it holds where it's at. Okay, so let's just go one click at a time up until we get a buy signal. It's 937. Let's go 938. And there's the buy signal again. And if you notice, this is a doji. And dojis represent indecision in the market. So at this point, I would just kind of still be waiting to see what's going to happen with this. But notice there is a green bar on the awesome oscillator. And because of that, I'm going to go ahead and take this trade. So to find out how many contracts I can buy, I made up something called a profit calculator. So if we look up top, we see that the puts are $8.60. Okay, so I type in, it's already typed in, but $8.60. And I can get 5 contracts with that. So I come up to, let's move this over. I come up to the quantity and do 5. My template that I have for this, I'm using one that is based off of the TRG. So what it is it will sell it at 25% above, which is generally around $1,000. And then my stop is 25% below. So now I'm ready to buy. Let me go ahead and start this one. Okay, I buy 2 contracts with a market order, and I'm set. I go up just to make sure that I'm getting my correct profit. This says 460. It should really be 1,000. So let's move this up to 1,010. And that's to allow for any fees that happen to come up. Okay, if you notice, there is no stop showing. Yet I used an order that had a stop. That is something on demand for some reason happens, and I don't understand that. It seems like the stop would show, but it doesn't. When you're paper trading, though, it will show, but on demand, it doesn't show. So now it's just a waiting game before we get to our profit. We've got $300 now minus, so we're just waiting for this to pan out. I'm going to skip ahead a couple of minutes. About 4 minutes. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's another buy signal. Let's just jump 1 minute at a time. Okay, that's a nice long candle there. Let's just wait a couple of minutes, see what happens. There's a way you can speed this up too. If you go up, there is a button that says fast forward, and it'll play 3 times faster. So let me click that. Yes! I just made $1,010 and it only took me 12 minutes.